Hello everybody, it's lovely to see you again. So today is the 27th of September and it's definitely feeling chilly. Oh, I put the dogs outside, got my jumper on. If it rains, I'll have to leap up and let them in, but they're happy outside in the sunlight. Doggies like to be outside and mine will always choose to sit outside in their cozy bed if it's not too cold or wet, because they're not stupid. Animals are really sensible, aren't they? They know intuitively so much more than we do what is healthy and what is right for them. They don't have any of our bullshit, any of our ego, any of our dysfunction really in general. I mean, some of them do. That's usually because of human interference. So they're outside in the sunlight, not that it's a sunny day, but they're still in the sunlight, which brings me in a perfect segue into what today's talk is all about. Talk session, whatever, I don't know what to call it. Yesterday I was very suddenly guided, had some divine inspiration that I'm being called to do a healing and activation session next week, which is going to be called Holding the Light. Okay, Holding the Light, Healing and Activation. It's Tuesday the 4th of October at 7 p.m. on Zoom live, but I will be recording it. And if you'd like to come, let me know. And if you can't come but you'd like access to the recording, that's great as well. Please think about inviting anybody who you think might enjoy it. Talk a little bit more about it later, possibly. I'll try not to go on for too long. I will definitely be making a few posts this week on my Facebook group, Instagram page, and my YouTube channel. Sarah C. Reynolds Healing Phoenix, or a mixture thereof. Please do join up, have a look, subscribe, share, whatever it is that you can do if you like it. So great. So holding the light. Today I'm just going to talk about sunlight. Seems like a really good place to begin, because holding the light is a big topic. And in fact, it might be a little series that I do. We'll see how it goes, but I'm feeling quite intuitively guided at the moment that it could expand. So just today, we'll talk about sunlight, the importance of sunlight, the power of sunlight. We need the sunlight for our physical health, our mental and emotional health, and of course, our spiritual health. It's really important. So let's have a quick look at the physical. Sorry, just looking down at my notes here. We are naturally designed to be outside. Okay, just like my little doggies. We're naturally designed to be outside. As the human species has developed over millennia, it's really only recently that we've started to be spending so much time indoors with electric lights, sitting on our backsides far too much. And just think about the implications of that. So when I was tuning in earlier, thinking about what can I say, what's coming forward, it's really, really time for us to begin to get back to who we truly are, our true nature. We have become so cut off from and disassociated from, in our lifetimes, the rhythms of nature, the sunshine, the moonlight, the starlight, the changing of the seasons, the changing of the length of the days. All of these things were very powerful and important parts for our ancestors of their lives and of how they behaved and how they worked and how they responded. Because we can be at it 24/7 these days, we've really cut ourselves off from this powerful biological behavior. I mean, we don't even eat food in season anymore. And when we think about eating seasonal foods in the winter, what's naturally available? Root vegetables that come out of the ground, that keep us grounded, that keep us warm. I'm definitely a salad girl, but I really don't fancy salad so much when it's cold. I need something warmer, you know. Just as an example, as soon as spring comes and the days lengthen, our energy changes, the food we crave changes if we're eating fairly naturally. That's the time for rebirth, for expansion, for growth, for busyness. The winter is a time of being calmer, sleeping more, being less busy, but we don't do any of that these days. So sunlight is a really important part of those natural rhythms and cycles with which we were born to live with. And yet we live very unnaturally in that regard these days. I'm just going back to my dogs. They've been such a blessing for me. You know, they're my little rescue dogs from the streets of Shanghai, and people always say to me, gosh, isn't that amazing? You're so good. Aren't they lucky? How much did it cost to bring them out of China? Was it difficult? They don't know how lucky they are. And I kind of, yes, absolutely. They've got no idea how lucky they are because they're little doggies and they just are in the moment. But in truth, they were a beautiful gift from the universe for me because they take me outside every day, twice a day, come rain or shine. And they really kept me going in Shanghai, where towards the end of my time there, I was so poorly, and the energy of being in a big polluted city was beginning to really overwhelm me. But twice a day, I had that me time when I took my dogs out. We were lucky because our compound had a little park at the bottom with trees and grass, and my goodness, I loved that place. I calmed down, I connected with nature, I watched the turning of the seasons, I felt it drew me in, pulled me down, and of course I connected with the sunlight. Very, very important. So it's not just about going outside to get the sunlight, but we really need the sun on our skin. We really need the sunlight in our eyes. We really need to feel the rhythm and the pulse and the calmness and the groundingness of nature around us if we're going to be healthy and happy, connected inwards, connected outwards, and connected upwards. They're very, very important. So that's not so much the sunlight, that's a whole lot of things. Sorry, I'm just going to switch off my WhatsApp because it keeps pinging. There we go. I hope you didn't hear it. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, vitamin D. Yeah, vitamin D. My goodness, I could talk a lot about vitamin D, and maybe that'll be a talk for the future or a healing for the future. But we're basically all vitamin D deficient. And it's been proven quite easily, for example, with the virus that's been around, vitamin D not only keeps it away, but it stops you getting really poorly with it. And sadly, most of us are really deficient in vitamin D. I've just done a number of months through some of the worst of a pandemic, face-to-face in schools, covering for teachers who were off with it, with children in class whose brothers and sisters had it, coughing on me, you know, didn't get it. She says smugly. I don't mean to sound smug, but I know a big part of that, I'm sure, was I was taking a lot of vitamin D all the way through that. And also I've got into the habit of vitamin D because it's really important for the healing of breast cancer. That's a by the by, but it's the power of the light. Like, I've even picked up my pencil. It's, you take your vitamin D. It's so important. The power of the sunlight naturally in our skin creates vitamin D. We're not getting enough sunlight. Take the supplements, guys. Take the supplements. It's a hormone. I could talk about it all day for the importance that it has. So, holding the light. This is going to be our healing and activation a week today. Holding the light. How can we hold the sunlight? We hold the sunlight in our skin. We hold it in our vibration. We hold it in the vitamin D that goes through our body and is so important for so many things. My daughter Maddie follows a couple who live on raw food in Hawaii. And I remember her telling me that one of the things they noticed once they moved to Hawaii and started on the raw food was they never need to put on sun lotion. Their skin just doesn't burn, and they are white Caucasian. Is that the right phrase? They're white. They're as lily white as I am, out in the sun all day, every day, never burn, and they put it down to their high vibrational diet. So we cover up and we smother ourselves in cream, and I wonder how necessary that is. Okay, we need the vitamin D. We need it on our skins. We need it in our eyes. We need it. We need to go outside. So that's a part one of holding. How can our bodies begin to hold the light? First of all, we need to accept the sunlight in. Okay. Mental and emotional, that's fairly straightforward. We all know about SAD, seasonally affective disorder. When we don't get enough light, we get low. Some people find it really challenging, become quite depressed. How people live in the far north or the far south is beyond me, and they have 24 hours of daylight in the summer and 24 hours in the winter. When you think about that, you begin to understand the power of the light, of the sunlight. Our circadian rhythms, our sleeping and our waking patterns are really naturally created and driven around the sun. Again, back in the old days, we would rise with the sunrise and we would go to bed with the sunset and sleep, hence more sleeping in the winter. We don't do that now. And I live in this little darkish cottage. So, you know, I have lights on all the time, summer and winter. Strip lights, not really very healthy for us. We need the sunlight. And I'm sure most of you are aware that we've got this massive problem with our kids these days. And I worked with this in schools, and I used to ask the children, the teenagers, how much sleep are you getting? And my goodness, they were really sleep deprived, because they'd sit up in their beds, or before they went to bed, screen on. The light, the bright light of the screens, interferes with these natural rhythms, and it stopped the melatonin being released from the brain. And the melatonin helps us to calm down, puts our bodies into rest, and sends us off to sleep. So again, we need the sunlight and we need the dark. We need the rhythms. We need to be careful of the light that we are putting into our eyes. Okay, we need to be careful of the light that goes in. I know we all know sometimes it comes up on movies or news reports, flash, you know, be aware, flash photography involved, because it's very triggering. It's really triggering and really tricky and challenging to have those kind of lights going on as well. The other really interesting thing that came through when I was thinking about what to say to you guys today was that when we close our eyelids don't cut out all of the light. So even when we're outside on a hot sunny day, maybe sitting in the sunlight, and we close our eyes sunbathing, the brightness can still go through. So I don't know what that might tell us about how much our eyes need to receive the light, how much our bodies need the sunlight. My eyes can be quite light sensitive, getting a bit better. But I'm always very aware I never put my sunglasses on unless I really need to. So people who walk around in dark shades for a lot of the day, they're not letting the light in. We need the light. We need the light. Okay, and I'm only talking about sunlight here. Moving on to spiritual, the light that we need for our spiritual health. I'm still really talking about sunlight, but it's going to expand a bit because we talk about light, the vibration of light, holding the light, standing in the light on spiritual levels, the darkness, dark forces, the light, the forces of light. So it becomes a much bigger term at this point. And I think we just don't have enough words in our language for all of the new spiritual language that we're developing with our greater and ever increasing understanding of light and spirit, rather. But the light we think of as being angelic or high level ascended masters. The dark tends to be lower vibration, lower level entities, or people who are not loving and caring, that kind of thing. And it is interesting, I'm beginning to get a lot of new light frequencies coming through during my healings, and definitely seventh vibrational light. I'm beginning to understand the different light that comes through from the different dimensions and the different processes and reasons it has for coming through, for healing different parts of us. So for me, that inner light that I see when I close my eyes and I connect is really, it's really interesting and really amazing and really beautiful. So when we go out into the sunlight, the sun also goes onto our forehead, into the third eye. The third eye, it activates here, but it's actually located in the pineal gland, which is quite a small, very small gland right at the back here. And biologically, it's believed to be a kind of a hangover from like a reptilian age. It's like a very simple reptile type of eye, and it is light sensitive, even though it's right at the back here. So we need the light coming in even through the forehead. But the pineal gland is also, on a spiritual level, it's the gateway to the spiritual realms and the spiritual dimensions. So light, the sunlight, again, it's really important for us to be able to connect with our inner light or our spiritual light, because it boosts the pineal gland, helps the pineal gland to be really healthy. I mean, the quality of the sunlight, I don't know how many of you are kind of consciously aware of this. If you're not, go out and look up a lot more. The sunlight that is coming through is changing in its quality, and this is all part of our spiritual ascension process, and the ascension process that is happening on the earth at the moment. We're getting a lot of galactic light, we're getting a lot of angelic light, we're getting different sorts of sunlight. The sun is sending out lots of solar flares. The Schumann resonance is shifting. We've been through this band, I forget what it's called now, of energy, which is stirring us all up. So it's really interesting and powerful. The sun, for me, I've always, since my spiritual awakening began, really, I felt the sun as being like a father energy. So I can connect, and I talk to Father Sun, Mother Earth, Sister Moon, Okay, this is the kind of energy. If you think how amazing our planet is and how perfectly located the sun is, it brings us exactly what we need on so many levels, including power, you know, solar energy. Don't have anything more to say about that. I feel like there's so much to say. I don't want to go on too long. Just feeling in. If you feel okay about it, just close your eyes. And then release. Feeling in to the energy of Gaia below our feet. Opening up to the energy of Sister Moon. Allowing Father Sun to shine, to bring his warmth, protection, and life. Okay, it's beautiful balance, beautiful balance. So light is also made up of all the colours of the rainbow, white light, and each colour has a particular vibration. So, for example, I've been working a lot recently with the green ray. And the green ray comes in and it's to do with truth and healing. Okay, as well as the truth of science. You know, I'm not a scientist, so I'm sort of, I don't know if I'm really vibrating, but with the green ray, but it's, for me, it's about the truth and love. Sometimes the vibration of the green light comes in and brings in healing, and the heart is the color green, and love is associated with green, as well as the pink. The blue ray is connected with Archangel Michael, protection. The orange ray is Archangel Metatron, the great orchestrator. So the different vibrations really have different, the different colors have different vibrations, and the different vibrations are needed by our bodies, our minds, our emotional body, and our spirit body. We need the light, we need the colors, we need the full range of vibrations. And it's just catching my eye here. I drew a card the other day from the Metatron deck, like the Kundalini awakening, and look at the colors that are coming up through the opening of the Kundalini, through the spine. Each chakra is, of course, associated with each color, and the chakra system allows our spiritual body, our spiritual consciousness to be embodied in the physical body. That's what it is. It's a system of connecting heaven and earth, spirit and physicality. And it's all about light. Okay, we're doing well. What else did I want to talk about? So it's, yeah, I think that's really all I wanted to bring into your consciousness today about it. I did also, just before we started, I drew a goddess card, and I got Kuan Yin, who in actual fact was originally considered to be masculine energy, but because it's such a soft, loving energy, we talk about Kuan Yin more as being feminine energy now. I'd like to bring back the fact that actually the original human interpretation of Kuan Yin was masculine, but with a very strong inner feminine. Kuan Yin is all about compassion. Compassion is a beautiful pink light, really, really high vibration. And as we hold the light and bring in the light for ourselves and for the world, it's all about compassion. And it says, release judgments about yourself and others, and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. You can see the beautiful light behind the depiction of Kuan Yin here. So focusing on the love and light that is within us all is really, really important. So my little inspirational download that popped into my head yesterday is to be doing this attunement. Actually, it's a healing and an activation, they're saying, called holding the light. And it's so important that we really hold the light in these challenging times, okay, where there's a lot of darkness coming up in the world to be brought into the light, to be healed and released. And if you are on a spiritual path, if you're a light worker, we know all about the power of these times, and we know about the importance of really holding the light. I mean, really, really holding it, being the light, being this powerful anchor to bring in the light so that we can release the old, release the darkness, move into the higher vibration. And that's what we're going to be doing a week today in the evening. I will do a couple of more posts about it beforehand, but please let me know. Like I said at the beginning, you can contact me on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. I'll put this onto YouTube as well. Do share, and please invite anybody else who you think would be interested. I will be recording it, and then you can have access to the recording at a later date so that you can re-listen to the information that's come through. I'm feeling very strongly there's going to be a strong channeling element. At the moment, I think it might be a Mother Mary who's tapping on my shoulder, might be Mary Magdalene, might be both of them. It's definitely going to be some channeling, maybe some challenging channeling is going to come through. Some information, definitely some downloads, maybe a guided visualization. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'll take guidance from Spirit around what's needed for bringing in a beautiful healing for everybody who attends. Okay, my lovelies, lots and lots of love to you. Take care, and I look forward to hearing from you soon and seeing you soon too. Okay, love, namaste.